Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Super Bowl Sunday, the time of the year when your friends bet, your friends bet, everyone's betting. So, just wanted to give a few picks I thought might be good for the weekend. You can always trust a guy with gambling advice who has a Phantom Menace poster in the background. We were doing a gambling show earlier in the year, and here's just a little more humble brag. I was 12-7-1 against the spread. We went about 10 weeks into the regular season. I was 5-5 on parlays, which I was pretty happy with. So I made some money there. So if you need reason to believe me, there's a little bit. I didn't do all these in real life, unfortunately. So yeah, if you're in a gambling legal state, these odds are all going to be through DraftKings. So just gamble responsibly. I have a rule. Think about it's like texting someone you like. If you're too drunk, and you might embarrass yourself. If you're too drunk to drive, if you're too drunk to text, you're probably too drunk to gamble. So I know the booze might be flowing on Super Bowl Sunday. That's cool. I know it will be for me too, but make your bets beforehand. Wait till Saturday, the day before, maybe. Wait to see the injury report. Wait to see how the public is doing. And don't buzz betting is drunk betting, and drunk betting you end up doing multi-$100 live bets on certain money lines. So don't talk yourself into it. Have the amount you want to bet beforehand. I know this sounds lame, but don't let it ruin your Super Bowl Sunday, all right? And if you're doing coin flip bets, if you're doing Gatorade bets, which song Rihanna's going to sing first, Diamonds, don't put actual money on this. Don't put your hard-earned money on that. If you have some betting surplus from the season, if you had a good betting season, congrats. Knock yourself out if you already took some out. Yeah, that's another thing. I used to work at a casino, sports betting, and one of the saddest things is people never enjoy their sports betting wins. It's always, I should have bet more. And it's never, that was a nice win. It's always, I should have bet more. Now I'm going to take these winnings and bet them on the next game and the next game. And that's, I mean, it's not a secret. That's how books stay in business and make so much money. It's, you just enjoy it, man. You can keep betting. Just take out the money you won from the championship week. So let's say you had the Chiefs, you had the Eagles, you won that. Congratulations. Take the winnings out. Take a little chunk of that out. And then bet whatever's left on these fun Super Bowl bets. Just be responsible. Yeah, that's it. My spiel is over. So I'm going to go through 3 bets I like each. 2 of them are pretty, I guess you could say, conservative. One's a little more aggressive. So my first one's just Chiefs money line plus 105 on DraftKings right now. Everyone has their different logic to taking bets, and the Super Bowl is always a great example of this. It's a great matchup, and you really have to have your principles. My principle is, after I bet on a game, I call it the Kirk Cousins rule. If you bet on the Vikings and you bet on Kirk Cousins and then they lose, how much of an ass do you feel like afterwards? Why did I put money on Kirk Cousins? So just think about that. And I did that in reverse here. The Mahomes rule. Say you like the Eagles. They have better line. They offense and defensive lines. They have a better secondary. They have better skill players. Too good to be true, right? But no, they don't have Patrick Mahomes. And this is nothing on Jalen Hurts, but Mahomes is that guy. And also think about this. I always think about legacy. The NFL, it's not a league of parity. It's a league of legacy. And think about this. Do you think Patrick Mahomes, who is likely going to go down as one of the greatest to do it, do you think he's going to be 1-2 in Super Bowls? I don't. I just don't see a competitive guy like that, ankle and all, he's had 2 weeks, to be 1-2 in his first Super Bowl. So I like Mahomes. I know Eagles have better, whatever you want to say. That's fine. This Super Bowl really reminds me of Pat's Rams, the more recent one. Remember the Rams? Oh, they have Todd Gurley. They have all these weapons. The Pats don't have the weapons that they used to have. McVay's a genius. That feels like this Eagles team. This Eagles team is that Rams team. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be 10-3 or whatever. It's not going to be a shit game or a defensive game like that. Because the Chiefs defense isn't that Pats defense. Let's be clear. And Belichick and Reed are opposites. Belichick's a defensive guy. Reed's an offensive genius. So I'm not saying, oh, take the under because I'm comparing those games. I'm saying everyone was on the Rams' ass going into that game. Everyone was taking the Rams. Why? Because they had the flashy pieces. But think about it. You were taking Jared Goff over Tom Brady. Jared Goff, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, but there's 11 players on each side. I get that. It's not just a quarterback. But if you're torn, if you're really high on the Eagles, you think Jalen Hurts played in big games in college, go for it. But if you're torn, just think about that. If you lose, so if the Chiefs lose and it's like, okay, I lost money betting on Patrick Mahomes, I could sleep at night. But if I overthought it and the Eagles lost, if I overthought it, bet on the Eagles and the Eagles lose, I'd feel shittier. I'd lose like an hour of sleep maybe. So just think about that. Chiefs money line. Don't overthink it. If you want to take the 1.5 points, okay. I think at this point, you instead of being like -110, -115, getting a point, just take the money line. You either think the Chiefs are going to win or you don't. That being said, for my second bet, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Super Bowls are rarely blowout, and because of the reasons I mentioned, Eagles having better skill players, better line, I'd be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked if the Chiefs, not only if the Chiefs blew out the Eagles, I'd be shocked if they won by more than 3 or 4 points. It's going to be a close game if the Chiefs win. Maybe a touchdown at most, but I'd be dumbfounded if they won by more than a possession. So if you like the Chiefs, there's some fun ones you can do. You can do winning margin. You can do Chiefs by 1 to 6 points. I like that one a lot. That's, I think, +2 or 300. So if you like the Chiefs, there you go. Another one, though, I wouldn't be as shocked if you like the Eagles. Take the Eagles adjusted line -6, win by a touchdown or more. Let's just say the lines dominate Mahomes. Mahomes' injury is worse than we thought. If it's going to be a blowout, it's going to be the Eagles, which makes me sound like an ass. How do I say that and still have the Chiefs? I just do. Phantom Menace. But so here's the second bet I like. You're doing a same game parlay once again through DraftKings. And what you're doing here, I could flash it real quick. It's the third one here. Eagles +4.5, adjusted line under 59.5. And I'll put that graphic back up. I just went out of order because I wanted to save the dumbest one for last. So you're taking the under 59.5. And once again, this is using my comparison to the Rams-Pats game. The line right now is like 49.5 for the over-under. I thought about taking the adjusted over, but then whenever you're teasing a game, so say it's 49 for the over-under for points, think about what you like better. So if you had to take it straight up, what would you take? And I thought about it. I'd take the under. I'm not going to bet on it. I hate betting points. I just do. I'm just doing this for the culture, for the public. But I hate taking points. But if I had to, I take the under. So if I'm going to adjust it, I'm going the other way. It's almost never, ever, ever as easy as it seems with this. The only exception was that Rams Chiefs Monday night game a few years ago when the over-under was like 50 something and they scored 80 something or whatever. It's pretty rare in the NFL. The Chiefs defense showed out last week against the Bengals. I know it was cold weather and it wasn't indoors like this game will be. But the Eagles defense is really stout as well. So as good as these offenses are, and there's also the nerves of being in the Super Bowl, which usually slows down scoring to start. I like the under. So you're taking that up to 59.5. So think about that. That's 31-28. You still win that bet. So, and 31-28 is on the higher end of Super Bowl scores. If you look back at past Super Bowls, it doesn't get much higher than that usually. So, once again, I could sleep 7 to 9 hours taking that bet. Eagles plus 4.5, because like I mentioned, I would be shocked if the Chiefs go in and stomp the yard. So that gives you a little bit of a buffer. If you were to do both, like let's say you do all these bets that I'm showing, it also gives you a little bit of insurance. So let's say the Eagles do just go in and win, then you win that bet. Let me pull this up again real quick. So Chiefs money line was the first bet I did. Eagles plus 4.5, under 59.5. Same game parlay. I forgot to put the odds. It's minus 105. So you're getting pretty good vig on that. I like it. And then that second bet there, saved it for last because it's a little wild. So here's what you're saying. I did this bet. I don't do a ton of touchdown bets, but I did this multiple times, regular season and playoffs. Kelsey first touchdown. And this is first touchdown for either team. If the Chiefs are in the red zone, who else are they going to? The only way this loses, well, the biggest way it loses is the Eagles score first. But the way it loses if the Chiefs score first is like a 30-yard bomb to Juju or MVS. That's the way this loses. Or they do a tricky Andy Reid inside the 5 play where they shovel pass it to an offensive lineman. But I just like Kelsey scoring first. Eagles plus 5.5 in the game. So once again, Chiefs not winning by a touchdown or more. And first half tie. First half tie is plus 700 by itself. I'm insane. I love these bets. I feel like games are tied at halftime more often than you think, to the point where plus 700 is a little high. It's a dumb bet. This is a dumb bet. Don't put real money on this. Don't put your tax return on this. Put your buddy gave you $5 for beer and you bought the cheaper beer, so you saved $2. I don't know what beer you can buy for $5 nowadays anyway, but you bought the cheaper beer, you saved $2, put that on this. Don't put real money on this. If you put $2 on this, if it hits, you win over $100. Cool. And if you win that stupid bet, don't be like, I should have put $10 on it and won 500, because you're betting on the game to be tied at halftime. You're betting on Kelsey to be the first one to score. And then you're betting on the Eagles to not lose by a touchdown. That's why the odds are so good. And that's one of my biggest peeves when I was taking bets back in the day, is people like, why wouldn't I put a lot of money? They talk themselves into it. They imagine, oh, Kelsey's scoring first. Oh, it's tied at halftime. Yes, it's fun. It's a fun bet. It's fun to do. It's fun. First touchdown bet parlays are a blast, because if it happens, the rest of the game, you can brag to all your friends that you have a 3 or 4 leg parlay and you got the hardest part out of the way. Earlier in the season, I did so very early on. I had one, Mitch Trubisky scoring first for the Steelers to cover against the Browns, and I forgot what the third part was. Mitch Trubisky scored first. It was an asinine bet. He ran it in for a touchdown. It was probably his last one of the season before he got benched. He ran it in. I was pumped. Was going to win. I put like $1 on it to win like 60 or 70. And that was the infamous Steelers trying that stupid lateral play. Browns took it back for a touchdown, ruined the cover. My bet lost, but I lost $1. Okay? That's why you don't bet your tax return on stupid bets. Don't bet your tax return on anything, honestly. Just save that. Put that away. But if you're putting real money on a bet, just go straight up. Just go straight up. I like teasing. I like parlaying as much as the next guy. But if you're putting real money on it, do something that you won't regret. If that's betting on Patrick Mahomes, if that's betting on the stacked Eagles, there you go. That's my life lesson. Back on the soapbox. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have fun. Stay tuned for a ton of great content coming up. I'm going to be on some NBA shows. We're going to talk some trade deadline, post-trade deadline after effects, and we'll get you geared up for Super Bowl and Super Bowl coverage. But also, as we head into NBA playoff season, it's coming. So, subscribe, like, everything you need to do. Have a great Super Bowl. All right, see you guys.